Welcome in the 14th episode. In today's episode, we will implement the logic to save our board data, so player will be able to save the current game and return to it later. We will have additional button in our main menu, continue, and the player will be able to press it and then go back to previously started game. So first of all, I just want to thank you all of the people who decided to support me. If you want to support me, you can go to my Patreon website, link will be in the description, or you can go to my YouTube channel and click this small icon here, so you'll be directed to my Patreon, and you can choose one of the two tiers. And I have also released more rewards for you guys, so if you decided to support me on the Patreon, you're gonna have 20% discount code for all of the projects available on my website, for the current projects and for the future releases as well. This code should be valid. And I also will do some exclusively content for the Patreon only. So if you haven't subscribed yet on my YouTube channel, please consider to do so, and turn on the notification so you will not miss any future videos. Okay, let's now go back to our project. So let's open the Unity, and in our main scene, let's go to the scripts folder. And we will create a new script. So right click, create C# script, and I want to name this script config. Okay, and let's open the script now. Okay, so in this script we will implement all of the logic to save our board data. So first of all, let's delete all of the functions from this file, so update in the start and all of the comments. And right at the top, we first of all want to set our directories, so I will use I will put the static string dir will be equal to application dot persistent data path. Okay, so this directory, this application persistent data path, will be used only if we're running our game on our Android device and we are not in the editor. So I will just use the small macro which is defined in the Unity. So right above this line, I will put the hash if, and then Unity Android, and make sure you put the exclamation mark Unity editor. Okay, so if we are on the Android devices and we are not in the Unity editor, then we want to use this path, so application persistent data. So otherwise I will use the hash and then else we want to put the private static string dir, make sure this variable name is the same as the one above, to be equal to directory dot get current directory. Okay, so as you see, my ReSharper have already added the support for system IO, but if you don't have it, the directory get current directory will not be recognized, so you need to put right at the top using system.io. okay, once you put this one in, the directory should be fine. And then below this line, we need to close this if statement, so I will put the hash and if. Okay, and let me move this one like that. Okay, so if we are on the Android devices and we are not in the editor, we want to use this path, otherwise we want to use this path. Okay, so we want to output the data in our current running directory on our PC. Okay, so once we set this one, then I want to create another variable, static string, and it's going to be file will be equal to, and then before that I want to put the @ sign and then slash. So if we don't put this @ sign here, the slash will be treated as a special character, and then I will name this file to be board data .ini. Okay, and then static string path will be equal to dir plus file. Okay, so that's going to be our completed path. Okay, so right below that, we're going to add the first function, which will be public, static, void, delete data file. So this function will just get our file dot delete, and then we want to pass our path. Okay, so this is going to be function used to delete our data. So the next one, we're going to create a function to save our board data. So that's going to be public static void, and I will name this function save board data. Save board data. Okay, and we want to pass a few different things to this function. So first of all will be Sudoku data dot Sudoku board data, and I will name it board data. The next one will be string level, then int board index. So we want to know which index we selected. Int error number, and then we want to pass the dictionary with string, and then list of strings, and this is gonna be our grid nodes. Okay, so this parameter is getting a bit long, so I just move it to the next line. Okay, so this function will accept all of those parameters. It should be dictionary, not directory. Dictionary. Okay, so we want to pass the dictionary with string and the list of the strings. So we're gonna have all of the nodes for every single square in our grid. So let's first of all overwrite our file with the empty string. So file dot write all text, and we want to put the path. And then string dot empty. Okay, so first of all we want to clear out our file, so whatever is there we just want to make it empty, and then we want to create the StringWriter. Writer will be equal to new StringWriter, and we want to pass the path, and then we want to put the false. So we don't want to append, we just want to output. Okay, so right below I will create a string current time will be equal to, let's open the string, and I will put the hash time plus clock dot get current time. As you see, this function does not exist. So let's me quickly switch to our clock class. So let's open the clock, and we want to right above the get current time text, we want to create the public static string get current time, and we want to return the instance dot delta time dot to string. Okay, so we want to return just the delta time from our clock. Let's save this class and let's go back to our config. Now below, let's create another variable string level string will be equal to, let's open it, and then put hash level and then colon, plus level, then string error number string will be equal to, let's open string hash errors, okay, colon, will be equal to plus error number, okay. Then the next one will be string board index string will be equal to, let's open hash board index plus board index dot toString, okay. And then the line below will be string unsolved string will be equal to hash unsolved, and then string solved string will be equal to hash solved. Okay, so we had to create all of these keys because this is what we're gonna output in the file. So I will just quickly show you how the final file will looks like. So here is our file. So as you see, we have a time, level, error, board index, unsolved and solved. And also if we have any notes, we will output the notes as well in this file. So when we read everything back, all of the information will be available for us. So as you see, our keys, which we created, are matching with the file, what we put in the file. Okay, so make sure you just put the same thing. You can name them differently, but you need to remember what the name is later when you're going to read back the file. So let's now loop for through all of the data and let's save them in the file. So for each unsolved data in our board data dot unsolved data. So we're going to loop through all of the unsolved data, and then unsolved string plus equal unsolved data dot toString, and then we want to do a plus comma. Okay, so we want to put all of the data into one string and then output that string to the file. So we want to do the same for the solved data. So I will just copy this for each loop and I will just paste it below, and instead of unsolved I will put solved, and then make sure you change the unsolved data to solved data here, and then we want to put this solved data and make sure you just save them to our solved data. Okay, and then let's write everything to the file. So writer dot write line, and first of all let's write current time, okay, then writer dot write line, and then now let's write level string. Okay, so just duplicate, then next line we want to output our error number. Okay, the next line we want to output our board index. Okay, then we want to output our unsolved string. Okay, and then we want to output our solved string. Okay, so this is for our basic information. Right below I will do another for each loop. So for each, so I'm gonna name this variable square in grid nodes, and then let's create string square string will be equal to, and let's add output hash plus square dot key plus comma, okay, and then bool save equal false, okay, and then right below I want to loop again using the for each var, and I will name this variable node in square dot value, okay. So we want to loop through all of the nodes for the specific square, and then if node is not equal empty string, so I just put space in between. We want to do square string plus equal node and then plus comma, and then save will be equal to true. Okay, so let's now go outside of this for each, of this first for each, and then if save, we want to do writer dot write line, and we want to write square string, okay. So as you see, this save variable is used to determine if the certain square have any of the node or not. So if the square doesn't have any node, we don't even bother to actually save it. So our file is a bit shorter. Okay, and of course right at the end, make sure you close the file. Over here we want to do the writer dot close. Make sure you call, or you have to always close the writer if you open it. Okay, so this is our function to save board data. Now let's right below, I want to create another function to return our grid nodes from our file. Okay, so public static dictionary, and then it's going to be int, and then list of int, and I will call this function get grid nodes. So first of all, let's create a dictionary of int list of int, and I will call it grid nodes, and will be equal to new dictionary of the same type. Okay, so next line will be string line. So this is going to be the line which we're going to read from our file, and then we want to create a stream reader, because we're going to read the information, and I'm going to call it file will be equal to new stream reader, and we want to pass the path, okay, the path of our file, and then I will use the while loop, while line is equal to file.readLine is not equal null. Okay, so if we're gonna read the line from this file, and this line, whatever is returning, is not equal to null, we're gonna keep executing this function. So I will use string array, and I want to call it word will be equal to line.split, and we want to split the line by this colon, okay, because this is, if we look back to the file, every single line is ended, like the colon is a separator between the data and the name of the whatever it is in the certain line. And then if the word at 0 will be equal to, make sure you put double equal sign, hash. square node. That means we have some nodes. Then we want to do the int square index be equal to -1 list of integer, and this is going to be the nodes, will be equal to new list of int, and then we want to do the int dot try parse, and we want to pass the word 1 out square index. Okay, then next line we want to do the string, and this is going to be the array of string. Substring will be equal to regex, but in order to do to use it, we need to go at the top and put using system dot text dot regular expression. Okay, we need to use the regular expression to use the regex, and then let's go back to our function, and then regex dot split, and we want to pass the word 2, and then make sure you put double apostrophe and then comma. So you want to split the word by the comma, so all of the nodes from the certain square will be splitted and output the string array. Okay, and then we want to loop through all of the nodes, so for each var node in substrings, and then for every single node we want to do the int not number will be equal to -1, and then int dot try parse node, and then out not number. Okay, so I want to try to read the integer, so if the node number will be more than 0, so that means we read something. We want to do the nodes dot add, and we want to add the node number. Okay, and then outside this for each we want to do the grid underscore nodes dot add, and then we want to add the nodes for the specific square index. So the index is square index, and then we want to pass the nodes, which is this list. Okay, so we want to loop through everything, all of the grids, and then pass the nodes for every single one. Okay, so right outside this while loop we want to call this file dot close. Okay, make sure you do that, and then we want to return our grid nodes. Okay, so this is helper function to actually get all of the nodes for the grid, for the whole grid. Okay, so we have already two functions. Let's create another one. So right below we want to put the public static string, and then I will call it read board level, and inside this function I will put the string line, and then string level will be equal to, and this is going to be empty string. So stream reader file will be equal to new StreamReader add path. So we're doing exactly the same as in the previous function. So we just want to open our StreamReader for our file, and then while, let's put double braces, and then line equal dot read line is not equal null. So if we read something, we want to put string, and that's going to be the array. Word will be equal to line dot split, and then make sure you put the single apostrophe, and then we want to split our word by the comma, by the colon, and then if word 0 will be equal to level hash level. Okay, so make sure this level name is exactly the same as this level name, because this is how we're going to store it, so we need to read in the same way. So let's go back to the function and then level. So the level will be equal to word at 1. Okay, and then outside while loop we want to call the file dot close, and then we want to return level. Okay, so we're reading our board level now, and then I think the most important thing now is to create the function to read our grid data. Okay, so right below I'll create another function which will be public string public static Sudoku data dot Sudoku board data, and then I will call it read grid data. Okay, so inside this function we want to do string line, and then StreamReader file will be equal to new StreamReader add path. Okay, and then the first of all we want to create the int, and this is going to be the array. Unsolved data will be equal to new int, and we want to create the array of the size of 81 because this is how many elements we'll have. And another array will be int array solved data will be equal to new int 81. Okay, so this is the two array, and then int unsolved index will be equal to 0, and then int solved index will be equal to 0. Okay, so this is going to be the index, and then we of course want to do the same, so we just copy this while loop from the previous function. So while line read line is not equal to null, we want to first of all do the string, and this is going to be the array of strings. Word will be equal to line dot split, and we want to split by colon. Make sure you put single apostrophe, and then if word at 0 will be equal to, and then we need to take the unsolved. So I will just go right back over here when we're saving the board data, and I will just copy this string, so make sure everything is matching, and go back to the function and put this string here. So if we are at the specific key, we want to get the string array substrings will be equal to regex dot split, and we want to pass the word 1 and then comma. Okay, so now we need to loop through all of the substrings. So for each value in substrings, we want to put an int square number. So as you see, this reading logic is very similar in every single function. And now we want to put the if int dot try parse, and we want to try parse the value, and we want to output it in the out square number. Okay, so if we successfully read the number, then we want to put the unsolved data at unsolved index will be equal to square number. Okay, and then unsolved index plus plus. Okay, make sure you're putting the unsolved index below the unsolved data. Okay, so we have our logic for reading our unsolved data. Now we need to do the same for the solved data. So I will just copy this F statement and just paste it below. Okay, and now we want to make sure we're just reading the solved data. Solved. Okay, I will just double check if this what I've written here is the same as the thing which we're saving. It is. Okay, so let's go down, and then for the solved data we want to do the substring from the word 1 and then value substrings. Okay, but instead of saving everything to unsolved data, we want to save it to the solved data, and we want to output it at the solved index. Okay, and then of course we want to increase the solved index, not unsolved. Okay, so after we've done it, we can go ahead and file.close and then return new Sudoku board data, and then we want to pass our unsolved data and then our solved data. Okay, so we just want to create a new Sudoku board and then return it. Okay, so we have the most important function, I think. So now let's create, I think there's going to be 3 more short functions. So right below is going to be public static int, and this function will be read game board level. So inside this function will be int level will be equal to -1 string line, and then stream reader. Actually, I'm gonna copy it from the previous function, so it's gonna be the stream reader at path, and then of course I want to copy the while loop as well because I don't want to write it again. Okay, and then braces. So now we want to put the string array word will be equal to line.split, and then we want to split by colon, and then if word at 0 will be equal to board index. So let's go ahead to our saving logic, board index. Okay, I will just copy it, hash board index. So if we found the board index, we want to do the int dot try parse word at 1 and then out level. Okay, and then of course we want to, outside the loop, we want to do the file dot close, and then return level. Okay, so another function will be to public static float, and this is gonna be the read game time. Okay, so float time will be equal to -1.0f, and then string line. Okay, below will be stream reader. File will be equal to new stream reader at path, and then I want to copy this while loop from the previous function and then put it here. So inside this while will be string array, word will be equal to line dot split, and then of course this colon, and then if the word at 0 will be equal to, let's see what we outputted, time, this time. Okay, we want to do the float dot try parse, and then we want to output the word at 1, and then out time. Okay, and then outside this loop we want to do the file dot close, and then the return time. So another function will be public static int, and this is gonna be error number. Okay, and then int errors will be equal to 0, string line, and then of course we want to do the same as the previous function, so I just copy the stream reader and then while loop. Okay, and now we want to do the string, and that's going to be the array word will be equal to line dot split, and then make sure you put the colon. Okay, if the word at 0 will be equal to, and then let's see what we put for the errors. So for the errors we put this string. Okay, make sure there is no colon, no colon. Okay, so if this is the errors, so we want to do the int dot try parse, and then word at 1, and then out errors. Okay, and then we want to, outside this while, we want to do the file dot close, and then return the errors. Okay, so the last function we want to put is public static bool game we want to check if the game data file exists. So we want to return file dot exists and path. Okay, so this is simple function. Okay, there is one error which we make is, let's double check all of the strings. So this is the errors, this is the time. Make sure you're not putting this colon here, okay, because we split by it, so it won't be in this word 0. so make sure you're not putting it in. Let's go up, board index, that's fine. Solved, unsolved, level, square node. Okay, and in our save board data, we want to make sure all of the strings have this colon. Okay, so here, here, and here. Okay, make sure all of them have it. Okay, so now let's save everything and go back to Unity. Seems like there is no errors, and the game is running fine. Okay, so I think that's it for this episode, and in the next episode we will start using all of the function which we have implemented to actually read back our data from the file, and then save, of course, our logic. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave the thumbs up. I know it was quite code heavy, but we needed these functions to have all of the functionality in our game. So I hope you didn't have any problem to implement it. Just double check your code, make sure it's right with the video. If you have any issue with this code, please let me know in the comments. I will try to help you out. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again in the next episode.